Hello and welcome back to another devlog on Magic Life Sim and my undergraduate comp sci capstone, Puppeteer. And speaking of school, it's finally my spring break, which means I finally get a rest, which I repurposed for more development work. So let's continue to tackle the character controller. In last week's video, the controller got a total rewrite with finite state machines in mind. Something I very much enjoy in games, and I want to pursue this in my own, is having movement always being fun, even in a vacuum where the player isn't interacting with any other mechanic. A nice example being the 3D Mario games, or actually just 3D platformers in general, really. Off the top of my head, I can't think of many life sims with a focus on movement, besides Pokopia. If you can think of any, feel free to drop them in the comments. I would really love to research them. Anyways, with the controller, one of the first things I looked into was revising the code for jumping and falling. Originally, with jumping, I was providing a total amount of time, and then getting a normalized value, and then sampling that with an animation curve to calculate the jump's velocity. The issue was that we didn't have a complete control over the jump height. With the falling code, we needed to balance between an abrupt fall and a floaty fall. But with some kinematic math from physics class, we can make some upgrades, and here's what I ended up with. Now, showing you footage of me jumping around in the game is alright, but I don't think it communicates game feel that well. So here's the jumping and falling plotted in Desmos. Since jumping and falling are in different states, we'll need a piecewise function, with the x-axis being time and the y-axis being the height. This green dot here is the apex of our jump. The v sub 0 here is our initial velocity, but as time passes in our jump function, our acceleration gradually brings us to the stop at the apex. During this time, the player can make tiny interactions to their movement, and then we switch over to the falling function, and we need to bring it down fast. Right now, this just looks like the other half of the parabola, and that's where the fall multiplier comes into play. In my actual code, I've clamped the vertical velocity, since going fast is fun, but going too fast can mess with collision detection. Like, imagine backwards long jump from Mario 64. With jumping, I added a Unity event for when a jump starts. This kicks off a velocity squash and stretcher that pilots, and you guessed it, a squash and stretch modifier. We get just a touch of squish going up, and then some stretching as we're falling, and the stretching being way more prominent. But let's make this a little more fun. We'll add in two things. The first one being that once we hit the ground, we'll kick off another squash and stretcher to give us a nice springy landing bounce. Coming from someone that learned the 12 principles of animation first, and granted I wasn't really good at animating, and then picked up the math and physics later, it's really cool to see how much of animation can just be physics with even more exaggeration. Then exaggeration being one of the 12 principles. Now for the second thing, we'll add some pose-to-pose animation. All we need are 2 keyframes, and also a ton of hours spent troubleshooting with blending pose animations. But after a day of that, we've got a jump-fall pose controller. When we're going up, we're transitioning our joints to the jump pose, and once we hit the jump apex, we start blending towards the fall pose. Then once we hit the ground, we need to disable the blending completely, and immediately resume the ground animations. For a little extra transition flair, we won't transition all the way to the jump pose. With 85% being my personal sweet spot, if we're running forward, our feet are just slightly still kicking in the air. By tweaking a single float variable, we get a nice visual difference between a standing in place jump and a running jump. Let's apply another principle of animation. We'll add some secondary motion. And I'll be honest with you, I've been wanting to do this feature for months now. We're doing hat physics without cloth simulations. The hat has its own skeleton and control rig separate from the player character, which should future-proof us for equipping items in the future. For secondary motion, we need movement that feels kinda like it's lagging behind, and we'll break this up into 3 parts. When the player is turning, we'll accumulate the angular velocity to drive a twisting motion. If the player is spinning fast enough, I want the hat to overshoot a little bit, so we'll bring in an underdamped spring to decay the twist back to its original state. The next piece is vertical movement. If the player is moving fast vertically, the tip of the hat should be the last part to follow the player. We'll carry this laggy motion through to the falling and the landing phases. Finally, let's bring back the fan favorite bobbling when the prototype character was moving on the ground. Putting everything together, we've got some fun movement animation. Now, like usual, I did sneak in one last feature. I added in sneaking by blending one more pose. For now, the sneaking state isn't a formal state in the finite state machine controller. It's more of a movement debuff that also slows down the character's run animation. For the sake of my capstone project, this covers one of the big 3 applications I sent out to do. The other 2 have been a little up in the air as I decide things, but I've decided the second one will definitely be an isopod, as I've got some longer term plans for them that we'll talk about eventually. The third is either going to be the centipede chimera or the lobster, and spoilers, the centipede is more along the lines of combat, so I'm still thinking about when to officially bring it, especially in the case of the devlogs. But for the sake of the grade, I'm probably good with everything I've built over these 2 semesters. Originally, after undergrad, I wanted to pursue a PhD in mathematical biology, but since I'm delaying it for a variety of factors, I'm not as concerned with grades at the moment, especially if I'm applying math through projects like this. Anyways, there are a lot of other things I worked on this week, but I don't think I've got the time to cover them all while keeping up with weekly uploads. You see, I totally forgot I had a presentation in my marketing class, so my editing day turned into presentation making day. I think it turned out pretty alright despite my sleep deprivation, but on the bright side, that's one less thing between me and graduation. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching the development of my Magic Life Sim game. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!